Hi, and welcome back to the third and final video for Module 2 of our RECCAP training program. In this one, we are going to look at the last two sections of the RECCAP. The first of those is around commitment to sobriety, and this is a scale that was developed at the Recovery Research Institute in Harvard, and essentially is the closest we have to a measure of motivation. This basically is a 5-item scale. This time we are measuring on a scale of 0 to 6. And it's important just to note at this stage, you're probably wondering why we have different score ranges for different measures as we go from one questionnaire to the other. Well, the answer is they are all standardized measures developed by different research groups and experts across the country. And if we change the numbers or the values, it alters what are called the psychometric properties of the tool. In other words, it's not comparable and its reliability is disregarded and discredited. So what you have to be aware of as you're going through this with the client is that change in score. So that what might have been a 4 last time as a relatively neutral score may well be something between a 3 and a 4 this time. So I'm sorry if that causes confusion, but you just need to be aware of that. So we've now completed 8 sections of the RECCAP. And what we're now moving on to is the subjective part. In recovery capital theory, one of the challenges about developing scales like this is they are inevitably quantitative and quantifiable and almost impersonal. They are standard measures of things we know make a difference and predict outcomes. However, recovery capital is not like that. Everybody's recovery journey is unique. So what we are trying to do here is, in as short and simple a way as possible, is to bring in the individual and the personal. So in essence, what we do is we ask for open-ended questions. And this is the main part of the RECCAP, where we do ask open-ended questions. And where what we're wanting to do is basically to say to people, okay, let's start by where do you see yourself in your recovery journey? And for Wiley, that was at a crossroads. I need to surrender to the fact that I can no longer use successfully. And for those of you interested in kind of motivational issues, this would be a motivational fulcrum. You have the opportunity now to say, okay, you've hit that window of opportunity. What are we going to do about it? From that, we then get to what are your current life goals? And for Wiley, it's get a job, get a house, and not get arrested. Well, we would hope that we look for more positively framed ways of setting out his goals. But this is really important. For somebody in crisis, the goals will frequently be, how can I just get through this crisis and not have this happen to me again? And as we look at recovery capital and as it builds over time, we would hope those aspirations will grow, that people's goals and objectives become significantly more ambitious and more focused as they move forward. But for the moment, it's not unusual basically for people to say things along the lines of, I just want a job, a safe place to live, and I want to get my family back. That's fine. When we come to the next video, we'll be talking about interpreting and working with people in what sense you make of these things and how you move forward with them. So the third question we ask then is there initial impressions of what do you need to help you get to the next goal in your life journey? And for Wiley, this is meet court requirements, financial stability, and stay out of jail. So they are all basically negatively framed things to start with. He doesn't want to get into trouble with money. He doesn't want to get into trouble with the law, and he doesn't want to break his conditions at court. Again, it's not unusual at that early stage just to have those, I want to get past any immediate crisis points. But you can imagine that what we're looking for here is how we will use the strengths he has to help him meet those short-term objectives. And crucially, it's crucial that you understand that recovery capital is framed and defined as the strength and depth of internal and external resources available to meet recovery goals and needs. So what we now want to be clear about in the last question is how aware of those other sources of support the individual is. And for Wiley, that was peers, Seed Sour staff, and family. So the agency staff that he's involved in, the peers he has, and the family he has. And And now we are basically at the end of the first stage of the process. So we've done the NPE, we've done the measurement. Now what we have to do is to say, we've gathered all this information, what does it mean? And before we go on to think about planning, our next module will focus specifically on making sense of the score profile, how you interpret it, and what you do with it.